Oh, hi Minasan. Welcome back to another episode of Our Life Beginning and Always. We're continuing where we left off last time as we chug through the rest of the moments from step 2. This time we are going to do summer work and hopefully escapade. And obviously we're ending off with a road trip. We're gonna hopefully see if we can get 2 done this time, but first let's get into summer work. You stared out the window watching the scenery pass as your moms drove down the quiet streets at a leisurely pace. A singer crooned sweetly from the radio, turned low enough that you could block it out if you wanted. You turned away from the window when your mom suddenly spoke up. Well, kids, are you excited to be going to the library? Yeah, can't wait to, I guess. I'm doing summer homework. Why would I actually want to? You don't sound so sure there, Blue. Mom wasn't wrong. It was what it was, but your real interest lay elsewhere. There hadn't ever been a time when you were super excited to go to the library.
So,
what about you, Cove? You're a part of the conversation too.
Not really.
Really, if I didn't have school stuff to do, I would probably be somewhere else.
I see.
I get it. I wasn't so keen on the library in my day either. I mean, I enjoyed playing hide and seek with Cove last time. Really? Well, no, unless you count under 6-year-olds as my day. She grinned over at the two of you briefly. Mom refocused on driving, humming along with the radio under her breath. You went back to staring outside. As you passed one street, you caught a glimpse of someone in brightly colored clothing passing out balloon animals. It sparked a faraway memory and you felt your lips twitching up before consciously remembering why. How long ago was it that you and Cove watched the amazing Alexander perform his magic tricks? Cove turned his head just a second too late. Who? It doesn't matter. Do you remember the amazing Alexander? Who? He gave us dolphin balloons. Yours popped. You cried. It was a big day, damn it, Cove. Oh, right. That was a while ago. It was so fun. Cove smiled faintly. It was the first time we ever went out on that street together, I think. I miss my balloon. He was a good dolphin for that one afternoon I had him. You couldn't help the way your own smile curled up higher at that sentiment. You wanted to say something else but couldn't quite think of what, so just settled back into your seat. When silence filled the car again, you returned your attention to the window. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. You leaned your face to the sunshine, tempted to close your eyes as gentle rays warmed your cheeks. Dot dot dot, dot dot dots. It's time for the dot dot dots. Blue? Huh? You lifted yourself a bit more, seeing your mom twisting her torso to face you, confused from the front seat of the car. Next to you was nothing. Cove's car door was already open. You had reached the destination before you even realized it, and someone couldn't just say, "Hey, we're here, guys." God darn it, Cove. I was asking, what time should I pick you two up? 4 should be okay. 4 should really be okay, Mom. That should give you enough time to finish your summer assignments or at least make a large enough dent. Thanks, Mom. You hopped out of the car, remembering to grab your backpack at the last second.
All
right then. Have fun, you two. Yeah, fun. Your mom snorted, but you couldn't help pouting a little. A beautiful afternoon like this, and you were going to the library to do homework. Darn it. The two of you went right to the door of the library. Cove reached it first and tugged it open, stepping inside. He kept it propped open so you could pass through behind him. The air was much cooler inside the building than it had been for the few seconds you spent outdoors. The space was filled with a soft din of papers being moved and whispered voices. Hey, you seemed kinda distracted on the ride here. Want to walk around for a bit? Or just enjoy the day? One of the two.
What?
Cove! I'm distracted, so? Cove looked dangerously close to rolling his eyes. Don't tempt me. Cove's eyes strayed towards the door. You considered trying to persuade him despite his protest, but eventually talked yourself out of it. Maybe if Derek wasn't waiting. Your study buddy was standing at the front of the library by a long rack of magazines. Predictably, he was flipping through the ones with various sports players on the cover, looking intense enough to burst off the page. His head snapped up when you walked over, beaming widely. Hey, Blue! Cove! Hi, were you waiting for a while? Not super long. Derek put the magazine back in its place and then he gestured to a space at his side. Most of the tables were empty, only a few people leafing through the books. There's plenty of room. In an unspoken agreement, the three of you started moving towards the seating area, Derek taking 2 steps for every one of Cove's. Oh, guess what? I'm pretty sure I've mastered the fake shot. I'll show you sometime. Derek looked over to gauge the level of interest. Do you know it? Soccer's not really for me. Cove! Cove! Oh, you poor boy. All the sporty stuff Cove liked was beach-related, surfing, snorkeling, bodyboarding. And he never played games that involved working on a team. Even volleyball had to be one-on-one. How does it go? Derek's eyes flashed with excitement as he explained. Okay. Well, you move the ball like you're going one way, and then... He demonstrated by running a few steps ahead, showing off some fancy footwork. You do it like this, so it does it like that. You laughed, bobbing your head as his attempt to get the trick across with no ball. Shh! The three of you looked over to the checkout desk. The librarian stood behind him and was wearing a deep frown. Scream! We in troubles! Ah, you were apologetic. You mouthed sorry and she sighed before turning back to the book she was reading. Derek scratched his cheek, choosing not to let that derail things. Oops. So, what are you guys working on? What weren't you working on? I'm gonna say I started on that, but I'm gonna go. Here we go. You had started to work on most of your assignments, not wanting to leave them until the last minute. You hadn't decided which to focus on this afternoon, though, so you hadn't brought all of them. Who knows? There was a chance you'd be able to finish all of them, or so you hoped. I think I'll work on my history assignment, because that sounds like the one that you would actually be at the library for. We have to do this timeline thing. It made sense to work on that while you were here, since you'd probably need to consult the reference books. There's some summer reading, too. I have to go through an assigned book, but I'm going to do that later since it doesn't need extra references or anything. What about you two? I've got a few worksheets. They looked pretty easy, but my school gave us 3 books to read. Can't they just stick with one? I feel like I just changed Derek's voice. I'm sorry. I'm also doing the timeline. You all found a table close to the tall bookshelves and set up camp. Within seconds, pencils and folders and books were strewn about the surface. Da-da-dots, da-da-dots, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dots. Focus on our work. You were pretty confident you could get it done before your mom was set to return. You checked the requirements on the homework sheet your teacher had given you, then opened up your textbook to the pages you needed. Da-da-dot. After some time, Cove shifted in his seat, twisting his back as if trying to work knots out of it. Cove, more like cave. Cove creased, wriggling in his seat, but his puzzled expression told you that your wordplay had sailed over his head. Derek sniggered at the exchange. Because you're going to cave on doing your homework? My mistake. You're a comedic genius. I'm gonna stretch my legs. Talk to you later. See ya. I'm gonna stay here. I'm making good progress. I'll come with you. You might as well take the opportunity to refresh yourself before getting back to work. The two of you strolled away from where you'd been working. Your eyes roamed over the titles of books as you passed by. Some were dull, some were intriguing, and others were just strange. But you didn't spot anything that made you pause and pick it up. Looking for something? The reading assignment is more than enough. No, but something might catch my eye. You never know. I might go out of here, if there's enough time. His comment reminded you of the clock ticking away. Even after you'd finished your work for the summer, the countdown to the new school year would still be on track. Before you know it, we'll be back at class. Yeah, we just got out and it's almost here again. Are you looking forward to going back? Cove rubbed his arm, drawing your attention to the scar he'd earned as a reckless kid with his far-off gaze. Not really. I don't want summer to end. I wish everything wasn't always decided for me. I want to grow up already. Cove didn't feel safe knowing it was others who really determined what his life is like. You understood that much. Instinctively, you reached out to him. Your thumb stroked the back of his hand in a way you hoped was comforting. Every year, things are different. I don't like it. They might be different in a good way. Cove turned back to you. You felt the weight of his full attention. Maybe if we both get to be in the same classes, that'd be something. That'd be great! A smile spread across his face, crinkling his eyes.
So...
What about you? Do you want to go back to school already? I like summer, but I'm ready to go back to school when I've got to. It's interesting. There's more going on then. It was really no getting away from the topic of school right now. If prompted you to think back to the classes you were in, you pursed your lips. Let's go. It wasn't mandatory at your school, but you definitely hoped to participate. Nah, let's do sci. We're just gonna be a smart kid. We're gonna like every class. You liked the books we had to read in English class. The writing assignments were engaging too. Except history. I'm not gonna put history. You liked figuring out solutions to problems, especially if they were a bit hard at first. Each lost in your own thoughts, you continued to stroll through the library a little while longer until Cove caught your attention again. We should probably head back. Yeah, don't want him to sending a search party. Before you could take a step back, Cove cleared his throat, avoiding your gaze. Thanks for listening to me. Anytime. Cove smiled, his cheeks pink. You jerked your head towards where Derek had been left studying. Time to get back to work! Cove and you rejoined Derek and settled back in quietly as you could manage. Work continued as normal from there. Dots. The sound of shuffling dragged you out of your head. You looked up in surprise to see Derek packing up. You're done? Derek casually shrugged, but you could tell he felt proud to be the first finished. Uh-huh. Told you it wasn't anything hard. Was it even worth coming to the library for that? You could have done it at home and saved yourself a trip.
maybe.
You don't have to have little baby bros at your house. And maybe I wanted to see my friends today. Derek leaned on the back of his feet. Okay, I'm gonna look around while you guys finish. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Dots. Later on, Cove shifted in his seat, closing his book as he looked over the notes he had been taking. Glancing away, you contemplated what you had done thus far. Just as you thought, it hadn't been that difficult. You wrapped it up already. Are you about ready? It's almost 4. Yeah, I think so. Come on. The both of you gathered up your books and after returning the ones you'd used for reference to their proper shelves, set off to find wherever Derek had wandered off to. He was in the biographies section. His back was to the two of you, one hand above his head and the other supporting himself against the shelf as he strained to grab one of the books. Hey Derek, we're ready!
Okay.
Okay. He glanced toward the sound of your voice, then up towards the shelf he was trying to reach. Here you go. You held the book out for him and he just stared. Oh, there's a crush on me! Oh, that's adorable! Until he eventually accepted the book from your hand and squeaked out a small reply with flushed cheeks. Thanks. Dots. And then the three of you moved to the front of the library to wait for your rides. You stood close to the window and let out a content sigh, feeling the rays of the warm you from a slightly chilly library interior. I wish our excitements were more exciting. Got any plans after this? Gotta work on my technique. Can't get too rusty while school's out. That answer was inevitable. Technique for what? Football. How about you two? The words "you two" echoed in your mind. You knew what Derek meant, but why was it bringing a smile to your face to be linked with Cove, even in the most tenuous circumstance? Nothing planned. Me neither. Oh, that's my dad's car. Derek lifted a hand to wave, pushing the door open and heading towards the blue pickup truck waiting in the parking lot.
Talk to you later.
See you later, Blue. Bye, Cove. You watched Derek jog off before scanning the area for your mom. Did you get everything done? Sort of. I saw you're done. He smiled, impressed. You felt pretty good about that. I feel like I need to come back to the library again before summer's over. Even if your assigned work was done, you might have to double check some things or do preparation for the start of the year. I'll come with you. I still have books to read anyway. Oh, Cove, yeah, come with me. Come with me, my poor boy. You better, I'm not going alone. He chuckled. Let's do something when we get back. Maybe the beach? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He was always easy to please that way. The two of you smiled at each other. Cove looked away after a second and you did too, fidgeting with the hem of your shirt. It wasn't long before you spied your mom's car coming down the road. There she is.
All right.
Time to go then. You climbed into the car, sliding into your usual seats and buckling the belts. Hey kiddos, did you get a lot done? I'm done.
Nice.
Amazing. The car shifted into action and you watched as the library shrunk into the distance. It wouldn't be the last time you saw it this summer, but at least you knew you were going to have company. You chatted easily with Mom about the day while you juggled a conversation with Cove. When she learned you two were planning on returning, she immediately offered to give you a ride next time. God darn it, Mom, you don't always have to give us a ride everywhere. You continued to answer Mom's questions about what you'd been working on, and then told her about your plans to stick with Cove after getting back. There was something knowing in her smile that made you pause, just for a moment. But soon enough, the trip was over and you had arrived back to your neighborhood. Cove had run to his house real quick to drop off his stuff. You also made a pit stop to put your backpack away before heading out again. The two of you regrouped in the middle of the road, halfway between your houses. With everything wrapped up, you could now freely enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Your conversation resumed as both of you began walking down the street together. Da-da-da-dots! Oh, the afternoon came and went. Dinner was eaten and you were cleaning up the dishes left behind from it. Cove had elected to stay for the meal today. He passed you a couple plates and to rinse in the sink. Even though he didn't have to, Cove asked to do at least something to help. You scrubbed the last of them and let out a satisfied sigh. Okay, they're done. I'm going upstairs now. You addressed your guests for the evening. You want to come?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to go back till later. Take it easy, kids. Thanks for the help. When you got back to your room, you noticed your backpack from earlier. You figured it would be best to unpack the stuff you needed before going to bed. Cove plopped on your desk chair and spun around a bit as he got comfortable. He watched you contently as you walked across the room. He didn't need or expect you to try entertaining him constantly. It was just nice to be near each other, even when nothing was going on. You hefted your bag onto the bed. It sunk into the comforter. With that, you started to sort through the books and paper packets. Not all of the things you'd need anytime soon. A small pile of the most important assets began to grow at the side of your backpack until you'd gone over it all. Huh? Oh God, did we miss something? Is something missing? You had actually finished flipping through the contents, but that wasn't all of your work. You instinctively pulled the open enclosure as you peered inside. A second look through commenced, and then a third, and then you began to open the smaller pockets. You were missing your history assignment! Blue? By this point, Cove could tell something was wrong. You had spent the better part of today completely finishing it, and now it was gone! It hadn't been the most noteworthy before, but the bag wasn't really zipped when you had first begun looking for it. The work could have fallen out somewhere, if you had it in the first place. I'm gonna say my stress level shot up because that sounds like what I would actually do in this situation. It was gone and now you were gonna have to replace everything you just did for it. My history work isn't in my backpack. At your word, Cove jumped out of his seat.
No way!
Oh crap! Is there somewhere we can look? The bag was kind of open, so he winced sympathetically. That left a lot of options for where it might be, most of them bad. You made a sudden bolt for the other side of your room. You started to scour the spot the backpack originally left in. With nothing in sight, you expanded the search to the rest of the space. Cove did his best to stay out of your way while keeping an eye open for your missing work. It was a frantic and ultimately fruitless effort. Your assignment wasn't here. Let's check downstairs. It might still be in your house someplace. Fine.
How are you?
Why, hello again. Is everything all right? A raised voice. I feel like I'd be panicking. No, I lost the work I did today, okay? Ma hadn't done anything to cause this, but you were incredibly frustrated now and you had things you wanted to do that you needed to do, and instead you had to worry about this.
I'm so
Sweetie,
sorry.
I'm so sorry. What's missing? An assignment for school from the library today. Mom's eyebrows raised with concern at the answer. That's a pickle. I'll call right now. I think they might still be open. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Just leave it to me. Cove, honey, can you tell us if there's anything you noticed? You were with Blue, right? I saw the assignment when Blue had it out at the library. I don't remember her putting it away, but I'm pretty positive there was nothing left on the table when we were done. He spoke resolutely. Before now, he hadn't considered something might have been left behind. You had felt the same when leaving, though it was hard not to second guess things now. Your mom re-entered the scene a few minutes later. The look on her face was not promising.
Well,
So I got a hold of one of the librarians. They don't have any papers with your name on them. Not that they could see anyway. I'm sorry. Thanks for trying. Of course. Sorry it was a bust. It's not your fault. I'm panicking. We're allowed to panic when our homework goes missing. Blue, hey, let's go over to my house. I can check my bag. Maybe I took it when we were packing up and didn't notice. All right, you got the impression that this wasn't about another place to look. You were stressed over the situation here and he was trying to give you an out. I'm willing to take an out. Take me away, Cove. Let's go. Cove nodded and made his way to the door. Your mom stood by with creased brows. Take care, kids. Good luck. Bye, moms. You briskly made a trip across the street. In less than a minute, you were going through the threshold of Cove's house. Cove had been in a rush earlier today, too. His backpack was tossed on the couch without a thought. No one had moved it since then. You can sit down or anything. I'm gonna look. He lifted up the backpack and unzipped it in a fluid motion. You were left to wait as he rooted around inside with an unexpected level of seriousness. There was no way you would relax right now. You leaned closer, trying to get a peek at what he was seeing. Every second not knowing made you more tense. Your impatience didn't go unnoticed. He tore through the contents rapidly. I'm sorry, Cove! I'm affecting you with my own anxiousness! Till Cove's eyes drifted from the opening of the bag and traced the length of the room's floor. His arm was still tucked away inside, but the search was over. Darn it! Your heart sank. It was obvious that there wasn't much of a chance for Cove to somehow had it this whole time. Still, you wanted to hope. Finally, Cove lowered his backpack to the floor while slipping his arm out. He wasn't empty-handed. Cove extended a few papers your way.
All right.
I'm not taking your work, okay? Your eyes flicked down to the assignment and then right back up at his face. That's your copy. In an almost silent room, you could hear the slight crinkling of paper as his fingers gripped tighter. His expression was just as firm. No, it's yours. Cove! Is he not adorable, guys? Is this not just the most adorable boy you've ever met? Like, god darn it, Cove. I can't take that from you. Why not? That assignment and grades, they're important to you. And, you know, you're important to me, so... He flatly dropped the papers at your feet, refusing to meet your eyes. I think I did pretty good on it. The marks should Oh, Cove, we're just gonna do it together, okay? Without another thought, you threw your arms over his shoulders, the papers scattered. After a second of stunned motionlessness, Cove returned the gesture and wrapped himself around you. Even though the situation was still bad, you were touched at how much he cared for you. He didn't let you go as he began to speak again. Missing an assignment is something that doesn't bother me. I mean, you've known me long enough to see what does upset me. The statement had started out lighthearted, but quickly shifted to one much more serious. You were always there. He leaned his head into you affectionately. Oh, he's being so adorable right now. It made your heart pound against your chest. And then the moment was interrupted by a piercing ring of the Holden home phone. You wordlessly stared at one another with raised brows. Cove's mouth formed a tiny frown. Kyra appeared from the hall on the far side of the living room, summoned by the noise. Cove robotically took his arms off you, pinning them securely against his sides instead. You didn't know if she noticed or cared, but he was embarrassed.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, Cove! Hi, Blue! I didn't know you were here! She strolled on past, your eyes followed her. Cove's mom answered the call, giving a chipper greeting to whoever was on the other end. A few uh-huh and mms later, Kyra thanked the person and placed the phone down once more. Blue, that was your ma! She said your stuff was in the car!
What?
Really? Thank God! Oh! All that stress for nothing! That's what I was told. Now, I'll just return to the guest room. You can have your privacy. Shut up, Kyra! Cove's face cycled from shock to sour as his mom made her escape, laughing. He shook the interruption off and refocused on you. I got it! Oh, you were so relieved. It was back. You had your work and that's what mattered. I got it! Cove smiled crookedly and shrugged one shoulder. We should probably head to your house. Your moms might want to talk to you. Yeah, my parents really care about me. They had kept searching even after you left. Because of that, it all worked out. Cove nodded in agreement. Hey, Cove, thanks for being here. Cove brightened up with sparkling eyes.
Don't worry about it.
Anytime, Blue. While stepping towards the door together, there was a thought in your head that you knew to be true. You were going to be there for one another when it came to big things and when it came to the small things. And unfortunately, we are close on time, so we are going to wrap this up here. Our Cove is an adorable boy. We are going to have 2 more episodes, unfortunately, though. But thank you all so much for joining me. I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everyone.